नमः पार्वती पतये गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम् जगतीमवितुं कलिता कृतयो विचरन्ति महसश्चरतः अहिमां श्रीवास्तविभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् अहिमां श्रीवास्तविभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्
जय जय शंकर हर हर शंकर.
Okay. Namaste children, namaste parents, namaste everybody. Very happy to see you all here once again. So today we will see how Adi Shankaracharya meets other disciples. We have been seeing each one of Adi Shankara's stories is a very interesting story. Each story is a very interesting story. So before going into the Acharya's story, we will start with an invocation as usual. Om Shuklam Vardharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurbhujam Prasannadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Bashantaye Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Guruve Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Dakshina Murtaye Namaha தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜா சர்வவியாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாயப் பிறப்பருக்கும் மகா பெரியவா அடி போற்றி. So we have been seeing stories of Adi Shankara's Shishyas, means disciples. So after his encounter with Kapalika, last session we saw about his encounter with Kapalika and darshan of Narasimha, Lord Narasimha Murthy. So after this his encounter with Kapalika and darshan of Lord Narasimha, he traveled further south. He was traveling further south. So from Sri Sailam is a holy place, is a very holy place of Mallikarjunam. The lingam is called Mallikarjunam. He traveled from Sri Sailam to Karnataka. So Karnataka, a place called Vaishnava Tirupati. So that's called Vaishnava Tirupati. See, where he proved in the Vaishnava, in the Sthalam, in that place, he proved that there is no difference between Shiva and Vishnu. See, some people will be more devoted to Shiva, Lord Shiva, and some people will be more devoted to Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. So Shiva's devotees will always say that, Shiva is supreme. Vishnu's devotees will always say that Vishnu is supreme. But Adi Shankara says that it's all the devotees or all the devatas are a part of Paramatma, that is Brahman only, isn't it? So he was not invited to that Vishnu temple. There is a Vishnu temple there in that Vaishnava Tirupati. And he was not invited to that Vishnu temple because he was wearing ashes, isn't it? He was wearing that vibhuti. So he was not allowed to enter into that temple initially. But after that, that priest said, okay, you are allowed. Okay, the priest argued with Adi Shankara, and they did not let him initially to the temple. They said it's a Vishnu temple and you are not allowed. You are a Shiva devotee, and it's a Vishnu temple and you are not allowed to enter into the temple. But later on, with all the hesitation, with a little hesitation, they allowed him to enter. But to their surprise, they could see everyone there, they could see that both Shiva and Vishnu there. It's a Vishnu temple. Actually, it's a Vishnu temple, but they could see Shiva and Vishnu there. Shankara, Narayana. Shankara means Shiva. Narayana means Vishnu. So both of the deities, they could see. They were all, like this, Adi Shankara was proving this Advaitic principles throughout his journey. And then he reached a holy place called Mookampika. See, it's a Ambal's temple there, Mookambikai. and he placed a Sri Chakram in front of this Mookambike, Divine Mata, Devi Mookambike, isn't it? Mookambike Devi was once very, very ferocious. Ferocious means Ugram. Ugram means she was angry once. Because, sometimes the mother will be angry also, isn't it? Sometimes she'll be angry. She will, scold you. All because you have to go into the right way. If you are going into a bad way, they will scold you. Parents will scold you. Isn't it? That's right. See, that's how Mookambika Devi was also once ferocious. But he kept Adi Shankara kept a Sri Chakram in front of Mookambika so that all the ferocity, all the ferocity or angriness, it was sucked by that Sri Chakram. Now what happened? She became very Shanta Murti. She became a very Shanta Murti with full of motherly love and devotion. Okay, motherly love and compassion. Compassion. So she has become like that. Now Mookambika has become like that. Then he reached another place called Srivali Kshetram. Srivali it's called. So he stayed there for some period. There so many people came there to get his blessings. He's an Acharya, isn't it? Adi Shankaracharya is a great guru. So everybody came there to get the blessings of Acharya. So there are so many kind of bhaktas, variety of bhaktas. Some may seek for knowledge, and some may seek for some kind of desires to be fulfilled, isn't it? So there will be so many small desires to so many people. So they want it to be, they will come to Acharya. So so many ordinary people will come there. So Srivali was considered as a very, what do you call that? It's considered to be a Brahmin village once. So every house, there will be an Agnihotram sacrifice. You can smell the holy smell of smoke. So they read Vedas, they read scriptures, they read Vedantas. So that's a kind of ideal village. One day, what happened? One day, a Brahman called, named Prabhakaran, who was very learned. That Brahmin was very learned, is known for his kindness, and was already blessed with so many wealth. Beautiful family. He has got a beautiful family. He has got everything. But he was so sad for one thing. For one reason, he was so sad. He has a son. He has a only son. He has got only son, but he was dumb. Dumb means he couldn't speak. He couldn't understand anything. Most of the time he would sit. Most of the time he would sit in one place and he'll be lost in his own thoughts. So for many days, this Prabhakaran, means this Brahmin, he has been thinking that I need to go to a holy sage or person and ask him why he is like this. Why this boy is like this? I am doing all the, Agnihotram and everything, but why this boy is like this? So maybe there may be a solution, isn't it? There may be a solution for this. So he heard of Adi Shankara. He ran and approached him with fruits. See, when we, it is said that one should not go and, to see saints or sages or sannyasis empty-handed. Even in normal practice, normal parlance, one should not go and meet the elderly person. If you are going to meet an elderly person, or if you are going to meet a family having children, then you should not go empty-handed. You have to buy some biscuits or something like, fruits or something, you have to take it. So he went to Acharya with the fruits. He placed the fruits in front of Acharya, prostrated before him, and he want his son also to do the same thing. So he made him to bow down to Adi Shankara. But he was simply sitting. He couldn't do that, isn't it? He was simply sitting, and the father, he got a little bit embarrassed. Why he is not, listening to me? See, this is a great Acharya we have come, and he has to bow down to Acharya. So why he is not listening to me? So he was so sad about that. But Adi Shankara, full of, compassion, he smiled and looked at him. Now the Brahmin asked Adi Shankara, what's wrong with my son? See, please tell me. He is 7 years old now. See, yet his brain doesn't develop. His brain doesn't develop. He is like a small baby. We don't know what to do with him. So he is not responding to anything. He is not responding to anything. Sometimes he eats, sometimes he may not. So he never, responds. He never listens. He never listens. So I don't know what to do. So Adi Shankaracharya lovingly looked at him. And the boy looked at this boy and he asked him, who are you? And why are you behaving like an inert being? See, why are you like this? Now the boy, this dumb boy, he looked up at Acharya Adi Shankara. He looked up at Adi Shankara and he replied in a beautiful verses. It is said in 12 verses, he spoke about his highest nature of self. Oh, great sage, oh, great Acharya, I am one with undivided bliss. I am one with undivided bliss. And I am free from all the different states and modes of consciousness. And 6 conditions. There are so many conditions of being, isn't it? Manifestation, creation, manifestation, change, so on, So because of, all these things, I am beyond all that. I am beyond all that. And this consciousness of self, which is common to all, to all liberated beings, I am that self. So I experience only that. So in this 12 verses, he explains, he talked about his, is all the qualities of self, and later on, see, that is why he is talking about all the, later on only he is called as Hasta Malakar. That is why he is called as Hasta Malakar, because the knowledge of self is so natural in him, natural to him, natural, and is easily available to him. The knowledge of self is because, you don't have to do tapas, or it's all, natural to him, and it is available to him as amla fruit. Amla fruit, it's a gooseberry. Amla fruit in the palm of the, in the palm of your hand. See, if you want to take a fruit from the palm of your hand, then you don't have to take effort, because it's already there. You have to just take it. That's it. Isn't it? You have to take it. So you don't have to work on that. You don't have to, work to take it. It's already there. It's already there. That is, hastam means hand. It's already there in the palm of your hand. That's why he is called as Hasta Malakar. So you don't have to climb the tree, pluck the fruit. See, the knowledge of self is so easily available to him. So it was as available as a fruit in the palm of his palm in the hand, fruit in the hand. So he became to be known as Hasta Malakar. So seeing this boy with the knowledge of self, even without the instruction of a guru, because he had never had a guru, isn't it? Adi Shankara placed his hands on his head. He told his father, he will not be fitting. He will not be fitting if the boy stays with you. You cannot get anything from him. Anything, even though if he stays with you, he is not going to be useful to you in any way. But because the boy knows the truth, of self intuitively, and because Acharya also knows, isn't it? Acharya, because of his virtue, virtue of his past karma, past lives, Adi Shankara has also got the knowledge. So he could see the virtue, he could see the wisdom in the boy, isn't it? So he said, he has no attachment. He has no attachment to any of your property, any of your things, any of your house or anything, parents towards parents, not even, towards himself also. Even towards himself, sense of identity is not there with the boy. So I would like to have this boy with me. Okay. He belongs to me. He doesn't belong to you. He belongs to me. So he has a place and purpose, okay, with me. See, that's what Acharya said. Since the Acharya said this, and the father couldn't also understand anything from the boy, so the father agreed. Okay, the father agreed. So, thus, he became the third disciple of, principal disciple of Acharya, third principal disciple of Acharya. Who are the other two principal disciples of Acharya? Anybody can say?
Padmapada.
Okay.
Padmacharya.
Sureshwaracharya, Padmapada. Yeah. Yeah, those are the two principal disciples other than Hastamalakar, isn't it? So now three disciples. See this, the 12 verses, whatever, they are all these disciples, have later on become the custodians or the protector of our Advaitic principles. They have become the custodians now. So whatever answer the Hastamalakar has given, when Acharya asked, who are you? That is known as Hastamalaka Stotram. And to this slogam, Acharya has written Bhashyam. So that is called Hastamalakiyam. Later on it becomes Hastamalakiyam. So now we have seen three principal disciples of Acharya. One is Padmapada, then Sureshwaracharya, and now Hastamalakar. Now we will see, the fourth disciple of Acharya. The fourth disciple of Acharya is called Thotakacharya. So after meeting Hastamalakar, he traveled further south with all the disciples, including, Padmapada and all the disciples. He traveled further south. He finally reached a place called Sringeri. It's called Sringeri. It's a place where, sage Rishyasringar has had long time, meditated on Supreme Self. He has meditated on Supreme Self. Rishyasringar has, he's a great sage. So it's a very serene place, beautiful place. I have gone to that place. I mean, a couple of years back, I went to that place. It's a very beautiful place near Tungabhadra river. So it's a very serene place, beautiful place, where near Tungabhadra river, Adi Shankaracharya and his disciples stayed there for some time. He was teaching his disciples there about commentaries and all those things he was teaching. So many learned scholars there came to him. So to some of the learned scholars and people there, he taught the Advaitic principles there. And he decided, since it's a beautiful place, isn't it? So he decided to build a temple in honor of the Divine Mother. So he installed a murti there. The Devi, the murti. That, there as Sharadhambal, Mother Sharada only. It's a Saraswati, deity of Saraswati. He invoked the presence of Mother Saraswati there because in the form of Ubaya Bharati. I have already told about that Ubaya Bharati you have seen, isn't it? That is what she had promised him. She had promised him when Adi Shankaracharya said, when I will build temples for you in holy places, please, if I invoke there, you have to, you reside there. Please, you reside there. You be present there. And she agreed. So thus he invoked her and she descended there. And it is when they were building this temple in Sringeri and staying there in a place, a new disciple joined. And his name is Giri. He's a very, very sweet devotee. He's very sincere, obedient, innocent. He's very innocent. He's very, very, his commitment to his, Acharya, is marvelous. So it is said that his devotion to the Acharya and the devotion to his service to the Acharya is so focused that he will do his service even before he is asked to do. That's how he would anticipate. He would anticipate what the Acharya needs beforehand and will do it before Acharya even ask or think for it. So his devotion was so great that every day he would get up so early in the morning, take his bath, he'll do his daily routine practices, and he'll be ready when Acharya wakes up to help him. He will wash his feet and he'll take care of everything. So he will walk with him like a shadow. He will walk with the Giri, the new student, isn't it? The new disciple. He will walk with Acharya like a shadow. He follows him everywhere. So he will never do anything to disrespect the Acharya. He will never even, sit in front of Acharya. He will do all the Acharya's, chores he will do. So one day what happened, he had gone to wash the clothes of the Acharya in the nearby river. And he got little late. He got little late while coming back. So here all the disciples are sitting. All the disciples are sitting and waiting for the Acharya to start the Shastra Padam or Bhashya Padam and teachings. But Acharya realized that Giri had not yet reached. So he delayed his discourse, his teachings. He delayed his discourse. He was waiting for him. But because it is getting delayed, because it is getting late, the other disciples became, restless. But Acharya said, let us wait, because, Giri had not yet come. Here, Padmapada, he was also sitting there. Everybody was sitting there, and Padmapada was also sitting, isn't it? Padmapada stood up and, said to Acharya, he was not very intelligent. That Giri was not so intelligent. Anyway, he won't understand anything. He won't understand anything. The intricacies of the Bhashya Patam, the intricacies of the Sastra Patam and all. Because Giri, Giri as such is so devoted, but his intellect was not so sharp. His intellect, he doesn't have, so much of knowledge. He was not so intelligent like Padmapada or Sureshwaracharya. Sureshwaracharya, Vartikakara. We also called Sureshwaracharya as Vartikakara, isn't it? So he was not so intelligent as these people. So Padmapada said, why do we need to wait for him? See, we don't have to wait for him. Let us start. Okay, he was pointing to a wall. He was pointing to a wall, and he said, he was so dull as this wall. Giri means what? Giri means mountain. Giri means mountain. So this Shringagiri and this Shishyagiri are one. Because the mountain is only Achetanam, isn't it? They couldn't hear anything. See, even though if you teach them, they can't listen, they don't understand. That is how this Giri is also. So they can understand anything. Whether he sits here or not is one and the same. If he is sitting here, if he is not sitting here, it's one and the same. So, fine, we can start. We can start the, lessons. Okay, we don't have to wait for him. Now Adi Shankaracharya realized, his guru realized that even though to some extent whatever Padmapada was saying is true to some extent, okay, but he realized some pride has come up in their consciousness, the pride of knowledge, and their learning. So to dispel that pride, or to remove the pride of his disciples, he said, and also out of the love for Giri, he loves Giri. Giri means the disciple. His disciple who was so devoted, it is said that at that moment, Adi Shankaracharya, by, an act of sankalpa, he awakened all the 14 branches of knowledge in Giri. So it is said that the next moment, Giri arrived with an awakened knowledge, spontaneously chanting a hymn, that is chanting a stotram in praise of Acharya. And it was very complicated. That poem, which whatever he was reciting. So it was coming automatically, isn't it? Spontaneously. It was a very complicated stotram, called that is in a meter. Each poem has got a meter, and it's a complicated meter that is called Thotaka. Thotaka, that is a meter, a poetical meter. So which is very complicated, an advanced poetical meter. This is called Thotakashtagam. Vidita Kila Shastra Sudha Jalate. You would have heard that. Stotram. So which is, see that stanza, see how that Thotakashtagam is such that, you are one of the Thotakashtagam says, like, see, the Guru is like a supporting tree, and, in its own feet, on the supreme tree, that is the Guru or Acharya, grows the creeper of devotion, taking its root in its own feet and watered by his grace. And on that creeper, on a small branch called Totaka, a beautiful or wonderful fruit has grown as a poem. So he's appreciating, and is appreciated by great parrots. Parrots means here, which we know that all the men of wisdom. So in a very poetical, in a beautiful poetical manner, he said, because of the grace of Acharya, the master or the Guru, because of the great that has nurtured the devotion, in him, kindled the devotion in him. Then that devotion led with the grace of the Guru blossoming a beautiful fruit, which is the poem, which is this poem. See, he's telling about that poem. He is telling about that poem that will be appreciated by all the wise people, wise ones. And that will come in the future. See, that is how he's just appreciating that poem. That is how he beautifully described what just happened in him. He said that the Guru's grace is like a ladder. It's like a ladder which ascends everyone to the highest state. That's why we have to pray to the Guru. Always we have to pray to Acharya before starting anything. I can show you a video. Here I would like to show video of Periva, our Mahaperiva, describing one of the verses of Thotakashtagam here. And it's very old. Even though if you can't understand the Tamil, Periva will be explaining in Tamil. But if you can't understand in Tamil, I will give a glimpse of the, meaning of that. He says that one of the verses is, he says that lot of great saints, lot of great wisdom people, they are all wandering around us. To give the knowledge, to protect us from, if in order to protect us, they are wandering around us to teach us not to go on a bad way. They have all come here, wandering here to teach us not to go on a bad way in order to protect us. They take a form, a body, like us, and wander and teach. They have all come. They all look like, Mahaprakasam. Mahaprakasam means illumination, like beautiful, dark, bright lights. Like bright lights, they are all coming, and each one of them, one may be like a star, and one may be like a, planet shining, morning shine. You can see that Shukra planet. So it will be very bright. So all are like that. But in between those saints or sages, he describes Acharya. Acharya means here Adi Shankaracharya. You look like a luminous, very bright sun. See, before sun, what will happen? All the brightness will disappear. All the brightness will become dull, because sun is more brighter than all the brightnesses. So Acharya, that's how he describes. I want to show you. I want to share the screen or the video of Mahaperiva describing this. So give me a moment. I will just I'll try to share the screen. so that you can at least hear, Periva's voice. That will be so divine, and it's our blessing to hear the voice. So everybody can hear that. I'll share you the screen now. Just a minute. Can everybody see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, yeah.
அவர் வாயுன்றப்போ எல்லாரும் பாடம் சொல்றப்போ அவருக்கு இன்னும் இன்னும் பெரிய இருக்குன்னு பாட்டு சிஷால நினைச்சுட்டு இருப்பார். பாட்டு சிஷால் ஒரு நாளைக்கு சாஸ்திர பாடம் நடக்கிறப்போ தோட்டக்காச்சேரியில் வல்ல ஆயிடுச்சு. அவர் வள்ளியோன்னு ஆச்சாரியோட மனசுல நினைச்சுட்டு இருந்தார். நினைச்சுட்டு கொஞ்சம் பாடம் ஆரம்பிக்கல. விஷயம் எல்லாம் அவர் ஒன்றும் அவர் விஷயம் கிடைக்கிறது இல்லையே அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்றதுக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சார். உடனே ஆச்சாரியருக்கு அவர் ஒரு கருணை உண்டாயிடுச்சு. கருணை உண்டாயி அப்படியே அங்க இருந்து ஒரு புதுச்சுண்டு தோட்டக்கம்னு ஒரு விருத்தம் தோட்டக்க விருத்தத்தை சொல்லிட்டு அவர் 8 ஸ்லோகம் சொன்னார். அந்த 8 ஸ்லோகம் தான் இதுல எழுதி வச்சிருக்கு. முதல்ல அந்த 8 ஸ்லோகத்துல जगती भवितुं करिता कृतयः संस्कृतः चिरन्ति महामहसः छलतः. பெரிய மகான்கள் உலகத்தில் சஞ்சாரம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க. ஜகத்தியை வாழ்த்து லோகத்தில் இருக்கிறவர்கள் ரொம்ப தப்பு வழியில போகாம நேர் வழியில இருக்கிறதுக்காக அவளை ரட்சிக்கிறதுக்காக லோகத்தெல்லாம் ரட்சிக்கிறதுக்காக ஒரு உருவம் எடுத்துண்டு ஒரு சரீரம் எடுத்துண்டு இங்கே சஞ்சாரம் பண்ற மகாபிரகாசமா இருக்கு. அவள் வரவே எத்தனையோ பேர் மகான்கள். ஜெகத்தீமவிச்சும் கலிகாகத்தையா விசரந்தி மகாமஹசா. மகாமஹஸ் பிரகாசமா இருக்கிறவன் லோகம் முழுக்க சஞ்சாரம் பண்றான். அவனுக்குள்ளே அப்படி எத்தனையோ பேர் மகான்கள் ஞானோபதேசம் பண்றது வர ஊர்ல சுத்த வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. அவனுக்கு கூட லோகத்தை ரட்சிக்கிறதுக்காக லோகத்தில் இருக்கிறவன் நல்ல வழியிலே இருக்கணும்னு நல்ல வழி காட்டுறதுக்காக அவனுக்கு அப்பேற்பட்ட அநேக பேர் சுச்சாரம் பண்ற லோகத்துல இதுவரைக்கும் பூர்வத்துல. அதுக்குள்ள அந்த பிரகாசனுடைய நட்சத்திர மதுரை பிரவேசிக்கிற கால வேளையில சுக்கரோதயமா இருக்கு. அது பிரகாசமா இருக்கு. சந்திரன் இருக்கு. எல்லாரையும் கேட்டா தாங்கள் எப்படி இருக்கிறது கேட்டா ஆச்சாரியரை சோத்திரம் பண்றேன். அஹிமாம் சிறிவர் எல்லா அத்தனை பேரும் பிரகாச ரூபமா தான் இருக்கா. அதனால் தாங்கள் சூரியனை போல இருக்கு. சூரிய உதயிச்சுன்னா பாக்கி பிரகாசங்கள்லாம் மறைச்சு போயிடும். அப்போ சூரிய ஸ்வரூபம். உமாம்சுல சந்திரன், அகிமாம்சுல சூரியன். संस्कृत अहिंसर्य गुरु शंकर देश के भीतर தோட்டக்காச்சாரிய குளிச்சுண்டு கை தாளம் போட்டு தாளம் போட்டு சரியா இருக்கு. जगतीयं कच्चा कथयच्चरन्ति महामहसच्चरतः अहिमांसयोत्तयोऽसुगुरु शङ्करदेशिकमे. எல்லா பிரகாசம் மகான்கள் எத்தனையோ பேர் லோகானுகிரகத்துக்காக வர. அவங்களுடைய பிரகாசத்திலையும் சூரிய பிரகாசம் மாதிரி அப்படின்னு ஸ்தோத்திரம் வந்து வர. அந்த உடனே பாக்கி விஷயம் எடுக்கல. ரொம்ப மனசுக்கு விழுந்து நினைச்சவே அப்படின்னு விழுந்து விழுந்து ஆச்சாரியோட நமஸ்காரம் பண்ற, தோட்டக்காரியோட நமஸ்காரம் பண்ற, எல்லாரும்
very nice, we have got our blessings today. There's a lot of blessing into us, to hear the Acharya's voice. See, after this Totakacharya, all the disciples also realized, because of this Acharya's grace, a simple soul can chant such a complicated and meaningful poem. So the poem embodied all the complicated Vedas. Here. So it is an Ashtagam. It's an 8th stanza. See, Periva says that it's an Ashtagam. And now, seeing Guru, the disciples now abandoned the pride of their thinking, of their thinking that they are superior in their knowledge. So they started prostrating to both the Acharya as well as Totakacharya. So it's the highest teaching. So it is said that, Totakacharya become equal to the other 3 disciples. Now, Hastamalakar, Padmapadar and Sureshwaracharya, he becomes Totakacharya, also become one of the principal disciples of Acharya. He becomes equal in learning and knowledge, and he became the principal disciples of Adi Shankaracharya. So I stop here in this session. So next session we will meet with other lot of stories of Adi Shankaracharya. So today we got the blessings of, Periva also. So after that, Gayatri ji will teach all this Totakashtagam and everything. So please stay here and learn all the, slogans of Adi Shankaracharya. So we'll meet in the next session next week. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Thank
Ram
you.
Ram. Ram Ram.
Bye. We'll now have the
Ram
photo
Ram.